Warning: the following context may include scary sequences of light horror and many thrills. Some gruesome descriptions involving children may be present in some chapters. Some material may be unsettling to certain audiences. But don't worry, everything will be okay. Probably. Chapter 29: The Ghost Trail. Danny's Perspective. The night air is filled with icy chills, which is completely opposite to what it was earlier with the sudden heat spike. After escaping the cave full of zombies, we've managed to find a row of hay bales to crash on for the night. Dixie hasn't spoken since the cave. She's curled up in a ball several feet from me and Tori. I'm trying to give her space, but all I want to do is make it better and ask her what all happened, but I know it won't help right now. Tori hasn't said much either. She's still in shock from the whole day. I'm trying my best to stay focused. I want to know if Dixie actually saw Connor die, or if there is a chance he's still out there. As much as he and I have our differences, I've come to appreciate his stubbornness and stupid bravery. He's got good survival skills so far, so hopefully there's a way he's escaped. As much as I know we all need sleep, I can feel the minutes counting down. We only have one more day to get all the items to the wishing well in the ghost trail, and we haven't even met up with Martha and Kiri yet. I really hope they've collected all the items that they need and are safe. This peaceful feeling from the dream catcher is really convenient and helps me stay calm through all of this. Sammy's gone, Tori says, rolling over on her side, facing me. What do you mean? I ask. I thought she can't leave you. Supposedly she can't, Tori tells me, rubbing her eyes. But I can't see or hear her. Once she brought Dixie to the ground, she flew back up to help Connor, and I haven't seen her since. That's really weird. Maybe with everything in the maze going crazy, she has the ability to go wherever she wants, too? Maybe she just lost track of us, I say, trying to be encouraging. Maybe. A single tear forms in her eye. But what if something happened to her? I was responsible for her. Well, how much could really happen? She's already a ghost, I say again, trying to lighten the mood. Finally, rather than soft whimpers, I hear Dixie snore. You should get some sleep, Tori tells me, sitting up. I've already gotten some. It's your turn. Even though I feel the responsibility to keep watch, I'm not going to be any good without sleep for 2 days. Okay, but you wake me up immediately if anything happens. I know, she says, finishing my sentence. Now get some sleep. She pats the hay bale I'm sitting on, and I curl up and fade into a much-needed rest. Martha's Perspective. The soft squeak from the old window of our living room is the only sound throughout the whole house, minus the clink from the dishes I'm washing. I watch myself clean up after dinner, and Mom has already gone to bed. The car pulls up into the driveway, and I hear my dad's footsteps walk up to the porch. He enters the house through the living room and plops down in one of the kitchen chairs, his face falling to his hands. You okay? My younger self asks. Long day, Dad? He sighs big, then sets his work bag on the kitchen floor. I'm so sorry, kiddo, he tells me. Why? Younger me asks. The company got bought out. They had to let some people go. Guess I was one of them. My stomach turns as I watch younger me run to him and give him a big hug. Oh, Dad, I'm so sorry. It's not your fault. He hugs me back, then rubs my fuzzy hair. Can you handle something big? So when I tell Mom she's not worried for your sake, can you do that for me? He asks me, and I watch as I nod, not knowing what comes next. I tend to do that, make promises without knowing what the cost is, just like the cost to the secret I'm holding, still wondering when I'll have to pay up for that. We can't keep the house. We'll be moving to an apartment for the time being until we can find a smaller house, he tells me. All younger me does is nod and try to hold back tears. Later that night, I remember how my pillow was soaked with tears. This was the house I grew up in. It was my home, and I knew that nothing else could take that place. The scene becomes quiet as younger me and Dad go to bed. I try to think of what I could grab because it's not like I could take the whole house back with me. I settle on the framed picture of me and my parents sitting on our couch for Christmas. It has the house in it, so hopefully that works. I'm hesitant to grab it, however, because I'd like to stay here, to be back in my place I call home. But I know time is ticking, so I say one last goodbye to my safe place and grab the picture. "Martha!" Curie yells as I burst through the water, gasping for air. The items I took from each scene float to the top. "Quick! Grab them!" I say, reaching out before the items sink again. "I wasn't sure you'd be alive," Curie says, frantically collecting the items too. "You were down there for like 15 minutes. I tried to yank you to the surface, but I couldn't." So I was casually drowning the whole time. It was a crazy ride, I tell him, walking out of the water to place everything in the backpack. Somehow, the pieces of paper are dry. Magic is pretty cool. "Where did you go?" he asks, shaking off the water. "And what are all these things?" "I visited important moments in our lives, and I collected things from our past." He looks at all the items, pausing at my family picture. "You're so little and cute," he says with a soft chuckle. "What are those things on your teeth?" I laugh. "Braces. They make your teeth straight," I tell him. Okay. Humans are weird." The sun is already going down, so we decide to set up camp here. The grass is so soft and squishy, it feels like sleeping on pillows. The sound of birds chirping wakes me up, starting a new day. Wait, a new day. I count in my head. We've only got today to finish it all. This is, or has to be, the last day here. "Curie, let's go," I tell him, lightly shaking him awake. "The ghost trail is several miles away, so let's get to it." He jumps up, shaking the sleepiness off, and smiles at me. "We got this, little buddy." Curie and I walked for a few hours, now settling for a snack break on top of a hill. Looking out, I can see that the path travels down the hill and into a wooded area. Blue and green fog floats through the windy and twisty trees. "So," I say, taking a bite of an apple from the fruit basket that the fairies gave us, "I'm assuming that's the ghost trail?" "Yep," Curie answers, taking a drink of water, offering me the last sip. I accept his kindness and drink it. "Have you ever been there?" "Nope, I'm not a fan of ghosts. They can't be killed." I'm not really liking the point he's making. Will the ghost be something we'd like to kill? 3 figures walk out of another path, standing next to the entrance of the ghost trail. I squint, trying to see better. "It's them!" I cheer, jumping to my feet. "Come on, Curie, let's go!" We run down the hill, shouting and waving at them. "Martha!" Tori yells back, leaping into my arms once we're close enough. "Hi, guys," I say, smiling ear to ear. A sense of relief fills my heart as I see they're okay. Well, 1, 2, 3. "Where is Connor?" I ask them. Dixie's eyes drop to the ground. She doesn't say a word. Tori becomes quiet and Danny gives me a saddened look. "No," Curie says, his hand covering his mouth. "I don't feel right. It doesn't feel real. We weren't supposed to lose anyone. That wasn't supposed to be possible, right?" "He sacrificed himself to give us time to outrun the zombies," Dixie finally says. Danny and Tori look at her surprised. "Is that what happened?" Danny asks. "Did he save us?" Dixie takes a deep breath. "There was no way Sammy could fly down both of us in time, so he pushed me first, then fought off the zombies as much as he could so we'd have time to run. We wouldn't have made it if he hadn't done that." She swallows hard, staring off into the distance. "Wow," Curie says, taking a deep breath. "That's another level of bravery, and that's coming from a werewolf." We all chuckle a little, even Dixie. "Sammy flew up to get him," Tori says, "but I haven't seen her since." "Who's Sammy?" I ask. "And how does she fly?" "Sammy is the lost soul I had to find at the old barn. It's a long story, but she's a ghost who became my friend. She was able to soften our falls when we had to jump off a cliff to escape zombies in an underground tunnel, she tells me, and my head spins. They really got around this place. A ghost friend. That's pretty cool, is all I can answer. A friendly ghost? Curie says, hardly believing what he's hearing. You got lucky. So, as much as this is awkward and hard and I don't want to rush things, we kinda are on a time crunch, so are we ready to go home? Danny asks us all. I look around, all of us in pretty rough shape. I think we're about ready. I have a question, Curie says with a weary look in his eyes. Yeah, Danny answers. If Connor, and I don't mean to be insensitive at all, but he pauses. What? I urge him to keep going. Was Connor carrying any of the items we need while he, possibly died? All of our eyes widen. Oh, no, Tori says, falling to the ground, throwing her hands in the air. We hadn't thought of that, Danny says, grabbing his hair. He was holding the picture frame, the black pumpkin, and the chest, Dixie says, her lips in a tight line. I look to Curie with an uneasy smile, and he grits his teeth. So, what do you think we should do now? I ask him. Any ideas? Any idea how far away the place is where they... Curie asks, realizing he's asking us to go back to the place where Connor's body might be. No way, Tori snaps. I'm not going back there. It's too far. We wouldn't make it back in time before the items go back to their original places, Danny says, also plopping on the ground. The five of us sit in silence, accepting our fate. We know there's no way to escape, at least not without going back for all the items again. But given that the maze is all mixed up now, with creatures going wherever they please, who knows if that's even possible. Sammy! Tori shouts excitingly, jumping up and running too. I'm not sure. I don't see anything. Chapter 30. The Wishing Well. Martha's Perspective. Tune in tomorrow.